Welcome to Plan9Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson, and we are doing another installment of Plan9Crunch Reads a Page from a Classic Genre Novel. Today we're choosing Robert Louis Stevenson's actual short story, The Body Snatcher. This is a collection of Stevenson's work. And The Body Snatcher is a wonderful movie. We've talked about it at Plan9Crunch. There's a character named Dr. Wolfe McFarland. This, by the way, is back, in 19th century England. And he's a very esteemed man because he's a doctor. Everybody respects him. But he has a dark secret. He needs to get bodies to do medical research on. So he hires unsavory people to be body snatchers. There's a character named Fetz in the book who is a bit of a drunk and an unsavory, rough character. I think he's represented by Boris Karloff in the movie. And so Fetz kind of chuckles whenever he hears about McFarland and all his grandeur because he knows the truth about McFarland. He knows McFarland's dark secret. So I'm going to read a page from this novel, and Fetz is going to talk to McFarland, who is a little bit discombobulated when he comes to Fetz because he knows Fetz knows his secret and everything. In the movie, there's a lot of tension between them. It's more subtle in the book. Here we go. This is Fetz talking. McFarland, he said somewhat loudly, more like a herald than a friend. The great doctor pulled up short on the fourth step, as though the familiarity of the address surprised and somewhat shocked his dignity. Toddy McFarland, repeated Fetz. The London man almost staggered. He stared for the swiftest of seconds at the man before him, glanced behind him with a sort of scare, and then in a startled whisper, Fetz? He said, You? I, said the other. Me! Did you think I was dead too? We are not so easy shut of our acquaintance. Hush, hush, exclaimed the doctor. Hush, hush. This meeting is so unexpected. I can see you are unmanned. I hardly knew you. I confess at first, but I am overjoyed to have this opportunity. For the present, it must be how do you do and goodbye in one, for my fly is waiting, and I must not fail the train. But you shall, let me see, yes, you shall give me your address, and you can count on early news of me. We must do something for you, Fetz. I fear you are out at elbows, but we must see to that for Auld Lang Syne, as once we sang at suppers. Money, cried Fetz, money from you. The money that I had from you is lying where I cast it in the rain. Dr. McFarland had talked himself into some measure of superiority and confidence, but the uncommon energy of this refusal cost him back into his first confusion. A horrible, ugly look came and went across his almost venerable countenance. My dear fellow, he said, be it as you please. My last thought is to offend you. I would intrude on none. I will leave you my address, however. I do not wish it. I do not wish to know the roof that shelters you, interrupted the other. I heard your name. I feared it might be you. I wished to know it after all. There were a God. I know now that there is none. Be gone. This is a really good short story. It'll take you an hour to read. And also the movie, like I mentioned, is superb. And so we're going to do this every week. We have so far for, I think this is the 8th reading. It might even be the 9th. I'll have to check. But this is Doug Gibson reading from Robert Louis Stevenson's The Body Snatcher. And I want to remind you that Plan9Crunch, we have a blog at plan9crunch.com. And Plan9Crunch is also at TikTok. It's also at Facebook. It's also on YouTube. And we'll be back a week later with another book to read from. And that's a wrap.